What the hell is going on with the American basketball team?
Team USA was favored by 43 points, won by just one. And who had to save the day for them? A soon-to-be 40-year-old LeBron James.
When we're talking about playing on the biggest stage, representing our country, we need the 5 best players on the floor, and Anthony Davis should be in the starting lineup.
I've been lurking in my comment section recently. One of my biggest requests is a video on the state of Team USA basketball. So, as requested, here are my thoughts on it, and it's not necessarily the most promising. So before we get to the content, we are 15,000 subscribers away from getting to 1 million subscribers. Just check to see if you're subscribed so we can get to that 1 milli. And now that we get all that out of the way, cue the intro. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? The Olympics are right around the corner, and there might be some major concerns with the men's basketball team. You see, the 1992 Dream Team is the closest thing we've ever seen to a truly perfect basketball team, and people thought that we would see something similar in 2024, especially with LeBron James and Steph Curry teaming up for the first time ever. However, that hasn't been the case so far. Despite 2 of the greatest players of all time playing with all NBA level talent, and a head coach that has won 9 championships throughout the span of his entire career, Team USA has barely been winning games that they should be dominating. I mean, the only reason that Team USA hasn't lost a game yet is simply because a nearly 40-year-old man is saving the day late in games. Just recently, in their second to last showcase game, Team USA were 41.5-point favorites over South Sudan. And to give you an idea of the level of talent in South Sudan, the team was led by a guy who has played a whopping 4 games in the NBA by the name of Marial Shayok. Team USA should have dominated this game, but instead, they only won by 1 point, and it literally required 25 points and a game-winning layup from LeBron James. They also needed LeBron James to win the game for them just 2 days later against Germany. And just look at how Team USA players are reacting to LeBron.
Almost a miracle win for South Sudan, but you managed to stay there. What was the key for you guys?
LeBron James. Yeah, pretty much just LeBron.
Now look, we all agree LeBron isn't any ordinary 39-year-old basketball player, but the fact that he is the oldest player on the team and he is carrying a team filled with superstars this hard when there are multiple former MVPs on the roster is definitely a testament to how good LeBron still is, but at the same time, it's completely embarrassing for the rest of the team. There are 8 players on the Team USA roster that made an All-NBA team this year, yet there's only 1 player acting as their Superman. It's ridiculous. The guy led the entire team in both points and assists during the showcase games. Now granted, Team USA isn't at full strength because Kevin Durant hasn't played at all yet, but somebody else needs to step up in Paris, and it can't just be KD. On top of that, almost everybody needs to step up on defense, and we're gonna get to Joel Embiid in just a sec. LeBron James is definitely carrying the team on his back on the offensive side of the ball, but these games wouldn't be so close in the first place if the team was playing any sort of defense. The game against South Sudan is the perfect example. Shayok had 25 points, Carlik Jones had a triple-double, and with all due respect to those 2 individuals that were giving Team USA the work, I haven't heard of them prior to my research for this video. South Sudan shot 42% from 3, and keep in mind, these are players who aren't even in the same league as the guys on the United States roster.
They got away with it tonight. I don't know if they're going to get away with it, in 2 weeks when they're playing in the knockout round.
The defense was absolutely pitiful over the entire showcase period. Just look at this clip of Dennis Schroeder absolutely carving up Team USA up off the ball and hitting his teammate for a clutch corner 3. Even on game-winning stops, the defense looks horrible. Here, an all-defensive player in Drew Holiday gets beat pretty easily and is lucky that Anthony Davis was there on the back end. But afterwards, absolutely nobody was there boxing out for a rebound. They're lucky that 2 South Sudan players got in the way of one another because it just seems so easy to beat these guys on the defensive side of the ball. The only time where it seems like it's genuinely difficult to score on Team USA is when Bam Adebayo and Anthony Davis are on the floor together. These two have been absolute menaces coming off of the bench, and nobody has been able to score in the paint when the two are on the court together. If you beat Anthony Davis, then Bam Adebayo is right there. If you beat Bam, AD is right there, and it's absolutely lethal. They're carrying Team USA on the defensive side of the ball, but nobody else has been able to stop anybody. One of their biggest issues is leaving players wide open for three. I think one of my favorite new YouTube channels does a way better job roasting Steve Kerr and Team USA than I would. So check out this clip from Awful Coaching.
Wenyen Gabriel's not beating you off the dribble. Get up and guard! Why is he walking right into an open three? Get up and guard the ball. LeBron's in the gaps in the middle of the floor. Get up and guard the ball. You've got help in the middle of the floor. Joel Embiid just giving up shoot around to South Sudan.
AC put it best, Team USA is basically giving teams a shoot around, and professional basketball players don't miss those shots often. They've also just had horrible communication overall, messing up switches more than all NBA players should, and leaving players open and cutting lanes. And this type of defense is completely inexcusable versus teams that are much worse than them. Usually it'd be okay with the offensive talent that's on this team, but nobody other than LeBron James has been consistent there at all. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, LeBron and Steph Curry were supposed to be a super duo, but Steph has been completely underwhelming so far, to the point where he was outplayed one-on-one by Dennis Schroeder of all people. Now, I'm not here to say that Steph Curry is the main person to blame for Team USA's offensive struggles. Pretty much everybody not named LeBron James has played below average. The entire team was 1 for 12 from 3 at the half versus South Sudan, and were losing by 14. It's a miracle that they won the game at all, even though the team as a whole has been disappointing. Joel Embiid has been getting more hate than anybody.
Should Bam or AD replace Embiid in the starting lineup?
They should send Embiid back to Philadelphia.
Joel Embiid, despite literally playing for his country's team, has become one of the most hated athletes in America. And the reason for that goes all the way from how he entered the league as this great charismatic Twitter troll that just tweeted the right things and made the masses laugh. I mean, the man literally entered the NBA trying to recruit LeBron James to his team, when his team was known more for tanking than winning games. Yes, he has this reputation of giving up on his teams whenever they're deep in the playoffs, or you could say that maybe because he's injured, he doesn't necessarily have as much gas in the tank. You could say that he's won an MVP, but you could say that that MVP wasn't really deserved. And as a result, Joel Embiid isn't universally loved by NBA fans anymore. And now the fact that he's been playing poorly compared to how talented he is, and the fact that he fouled out of Team USA's first game against Canada, hasn't really helped his case either. Now, the guy is still 5th on the team in points and 3rd on the team in assists as their starting center, and if you want to look past all of that, he gets a tremendous amount of hate for not playing for his own national team. I mean, I get it, man. If you spend enough time in one particular country, you want to call that country your home. Arnold Schwarzenegger has famously said that he views USA as his home despite being born in Austria. So I get it. I'm just saying these are the reasons why, coming into the Olympics, people didn't really love Joel Embiid. But considering the fact that Joel Embiid has ties to Cameroon and ties to France, and you can understand why he's getting reactions like this. Now, these aren't American fans, but people yelling at him to give back his passport in general is insane. The United States has been home to Embiid for a decade, so there's no reason that he shouldn't be able to compete for his country. This also isn't the first time a non-American player has represented them at the Olympics. Patrick Ewing, who's from Jamaica, was on the 1992 Dream Team. Hakeem Olajuwon, who's Nigerian, represented America 4 years later. Surely nobody was yelling at these guys to give back their passports. The only logical reason for anybody to be hating on Joel Embiid right now has to be for one reason, and one reason only: his play on the court. Now, he's genuinely been playing well, but there is absolutely an argument to be made that he should be coming off of the bench for AD and Bam. And who knows, he might be once the Olympics start. Just listen to what Steve Kerr had to say when asked about benching Joel Embiid.
These next few games, I'm going to continue to experiment with the lineups, and Joel is getting better and better every day. It usually takes big guys a little bit longer to get rhythm and flow, but I love Joel. He's a dominant player, and I think it's going to be important for us to figure out the best combinations.
In the case of Joel Embiid, it's very difficult to pinpoint the exact problem because he sometimes looks completely lost out there. He takes Team USA out of its rhythm. He does this weird foul baiting thing that doesn't really work in the Olympics either. But I think people tend to forget that Team USA basketball is a completely different form of basketball, and it doesn't take a genius to know that Joel Embiid should be coming off of the bench. I personally think that what AD and Bam have done together so far should make them inseparable. So if you're starting one of them, then you have to start both of them. But if Steve Kerr just starts one of them over Embiid, I think that would be just one of many poor coaching decisions by Steve Kerr this summer. I mean, the fact that this guy is the head coach over Eric Spoelstra is still blowing my mind. I guess the NBA just decided to choose who's won the most NBA championships recently as an active head coach, as opposed to who is probably the most capable for the job. Because at the end of the day, it's very difficult to point the blame finger at one of the many stars on this team when there is a clear adjustment period for the Olympics, but Steve Kerr doesn't really have an excuse. And in this particular case, it's his job to get Team USA prepared. And arguably, in my opinion, he's the main problem right now. You see, Tyrese Halliburton, for example, who has been playing very, very well and very team-friendly basketball this summer, just completely disappeared from the rotation when guys like Derek White are playing meaningful minutes. He played 20 minutes in their opener against Canada, where he was arguably the best player on the court, and since then he's played less and less minutes every game, including their final game against Germany, where he didn't play at all. Dennis Schroeder was locking Steph Curry up late in the game, and there's a very good chance that Tyrese Halliburton could have opened up the floor for Steve Kerr's offense. Not only that, but Steve Kerr just cannot make up his mind as to who should be the starting shooting guard. In one game it was Devin Booker, then it was Anthony Edwards, then it was Drew Holiday, then it was back to Devin Booker. Nothing like some inconsistency to make sure that the team can't gel together at all whatsoever. Maybe the team wouldn't be so stagnant if Steve Kerr could finally solidify a unit. In my opinion, start Anthony Edwards and call it a day. The guy's second on the team in scoring and has that Mamba mentality that we all know and love. He truly thinks he's the best player on the court in each and every game. I mean, just listen to what he said before any games had even started.
I'm still the number one option. Yeah. I mean, y'all might look at it differently. I don't look at it differently. They gotta fit in and play around me. That's how I feel.
And what did Steve Kerr do once he said all of that? Well, he benched him against Canada. So Anthony Edwards went out and had a team-leading 13 points, proving that he should be the starting two guard. After the game, Ant went to Steve Kerr about starting him from there on out, and Steve Kerr responded by saying Dwayne Wade came off the bench when Kobe played. And of course, Anthony Edwards responded in the most Anthony Edwards way possible by saying, we don't have a Kobe. And he's got a point. Dwayne Wade came off the bench because there was no logistical way to start both him and Kobe Bryant. But you weren't benching Kobe Bryant in his prime, especially because you brought Kobe Bryant there to help build the Redeem team. But Devin Booker is not Kobe Bryant. Anthony Edwards has outplayed Booker in every single aspect, and there's no reason that Booker should continue to start over Ant in Paris. Maybe LeBron will finally get some help in that starting unit. There's absolutely no reason that this team shouldn't cruise to a gold medal. You have 8 combined MVP awards and 59 combined All-NBA appearances on this roster. There's no excuse. The Dream Team comparisons need to stop until they prove that they can dominate their opponents. The Dream Team won by an average of 44 points. This team is only winning by 10 points per game, and that's swayed by a 26-point blowout over Nikola Jokic in Serbia. Their defense needs to step up big time. Their offense needs to be a lot more consistent, and Steve Kerr needs to be a better coach. Simple as that. If this team doesn't win the gold, it might go down as one of the most disappointing Team USA basketball teams of all time. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.